Well, I seem to have developed a habit of saying that new things, new videos will come, and then traveling, or in this case, getting sick for 2 weeks, which you can probably still hear rattling in my voice. But I decided I'd put this off long enough and have gotten back to it. Well, the tarot posts on Facebook and Instagram have been regular, so hopefully some of you have been keeping an eye on those. Today I decided to look at 2 decks at the same time for our reading, and this was a choice-heavy, decision-heavy reading for 3 cards, because we see 2 out of 3 cards as court cards. Now, some believe and interpret these to mean individual people, usually of the sex depicted in the card. So according to such a reading, these would represent a female, a princess, and these princes would represent definitely a male in the querent's life, or someone who would soon enter their life. I like to think of them more as stepping stones between the numerals of the various suits. And so I will interpret them this way. We can discuss that another time. That came from my study of tarot in the Hodorowski approach. In bringing that here, we'll see an individual, male or female, clearly moving away from what looks like almost a Tim Burton-esque background. Something scary and unknown, something perhaps dangerous and certainly unsettling. Now, this row, you see the Black Flame Tarot, recently released this year, and then you'll see Crowley's Thoth Tarot on the bottom. Same cards, different depictions. Here, in fact, we see something much lighter, and that'll hold true between these 2 decks. Crowley didn't use as many dark colors, or as bold for that matter, but in any case, we see some similarity, however. Obviously cups, but we see the princess, excuse me, cough hasn't gone quite away. We see the princess bearing her cup and holding it in front of her, and as a self-reflective device, let's call it a predecessor to the mirror. The cup allows us to reflect not only on relationships or spirituality, but on that oft-forgotten self aspect in life. Now, we'll see, moving along, that has led into another suit. So, whatever self-reflection has taken place has moved us into a more energetic, more creative phase in life. Perhaps a midlife crisis was represented by the princess. We've been looking at our life and realizing I haven't done nearly anything that I wanted to, or set out to, or thought that I would have by now, and time has not been moving slower. Whatever has prompted us to move into the wands, the creative suit, the other end of the spectrum from the swords, the intellectual suit. whatever it was that put us here, it put us here. And now we find ourselves in a position that will lead to us needing to make some decisions. Will we just gestate, hold off like we did up until the reflective period put us in this position? Or will we choose to grow and nourish that growth through our activities, our practice, and our intentions? And we can also choose to do neither one or the other and just sit in indecision. But we have to remember, as I've pointed out before, indecision represents the most dangerous decision of all because that decision leads to stagnation. We can choose to hold off until we get the supplies we need. That may take a couple paychecks before we jump in. But we have a plan. We have a sense of direction. Whereas indecision, just waiting for the right time with no action to back it up, that leads to trouble and stagnation and deathbed questions of why didn't I do more? Excuse me. So, we have that on the horizon. We will have to make that decision. The circumstance may not have presented itself quite yet, but we do well to prepare for it, knowing that it will come. Presently, we find ourselves in a highly creative state. Perhaps we find ourselves in that newfound hobby state, or that newly begun project that we've been meaning to get to. Don't wear yourself out. Don't burn yourself out. Handle all things with balance. You enjoy it to the point that you can put it down and continue looking forward to it next time. Creativity exists as a process. Creation bringing into being new things, including new aspects of self. This doesn't have to refer to an art project or basket weaving or snow globe making or whatever. This can mean self-work, bringing into being a new and improved you. Now that should come as part of your creative endeavors with other projects like I just mentioned, ceramics or pottery making or whatever, mandala making, sculpting, bookbinding, whatever passion you find yourself in pursuit of and embracing. But again, don't burn yourself out. These will lead to new things, as we see here. The 10 does not, in this case, mean that we've finished a cycle. It means that we'll cycle back into the creative aspect of life. And to me, that suggests a very strong relationship with that sphere of life, perhaps a newly discovered one. So, if the self-reflection has not been finished, I suggest continuing to work on that. But by now, probably, even if we haven't begun working on that area of creativity, we know. We may not realize it yet or acknowledge it yet, but like this little beam of light, somewhere in our subconscious mind, we know what we need to do. And ultimately the choice lies in your hands. I suggest following it and not stagnating, or better preparing yourself. But in each case, you'll find yourself actively doing something, as opposed, of course, to just waiting for the right time. Planning, unless the cough gets worse again, to put up, speak of the devil, to put up some more videos this week. I've been itching to do it. I feel bad that I haven't. So keep your eyes open. Make sure to subscribe. The content will become more frequent with some changes that I've just gone through, some by choice and some not so much. But in any case, keep watching. If you find this interesting, helpful, or just fun and pretty, make sure to subscribe, share it. Someone else may also find it fun or interesting or pretty, or some combination. And I look forward to the next time.